first day in Vegas. I've had about 2 hours sleep and jumping into the first tournament, 10K PLO. What a fun one to jump in first. I joined at second level of the day and I sit down and everyone's doing these ones. There's sunnies and headphones. Meanwhile, I'm kind of like leaning on my chair, flicking chips around. And I think that if everyone's playing real mouth covery and I'm not, I feel like it makes me a little bit more comfortable. And I think it's a good dynamic to have because they're probably going to be thinking, who the hell is this guy? Just busted the 10K PLO and so many hands I played, so many to talk about, but I think I'll just talk about my highlight for the day and also what effectively led to my bust out. So highlight of the day is Jared Blesnik is on my table and so is Arta. Can't remember how to pronounce his last name. The guy that wins all the Tridents, they're on my table. Arta opens under the gun 7 and I call the hijack King Queen 10-3 double suit. Just heads up to the flop and the flop is King Queen 6 rainbow. He checks, I go B33, he calls, turns a 4, brings a flush draw, not mine, he checks, I bet pot, he calls, river is an ace, he checks. Now before this hand, there's been a couple of hands throughout the day where I get to a similar spot thinking I've got showdown, I just check back and realize that I don't have any showdown. So I'm thinking about this spot and I think when the ace comes on the river, I almost have 0 equity now. And I'm just deciding whether to bluff my hand or not. I have a 10, which is good. I think he'll lead some Jack 10 on the river himself. So he might be underrepresented with nuts. I think he will also give me a lot of credit for having Jack 10 here because it's hard to think of bluffs I can have. Bluffs I can have might be King Jack Jack, King 10 10. So when he checks, I'm weighing up all these factors and it's just ticking a lot of boxes. So I go, I bet full pot and he gives me a very good sweat, things for a very long time. But what's interesting, he doesn't really look at me much for a live read. He maybe only looked at me for say 20 seconds out of the 3 minutes that he tanked. And if he had have looked at me, I was feeling pretty nervous. I felt like I was going to give something up. And I don't normally feel nervous these days. And I think the reason why I felt nervous is because of who it is. It's a Triton player. I've seen him on podcasts, do interviews. He's extremely good. So it just made me nervous that he might sniff me out. He eventually folded and that was a really nice hand. Probably the best hand I played for the day. Got my heart rate going as well. When he folds, he passes his cards to Blez, and Blez looks at his cards and says, "That's a very interesting hand." So anyway, we go on break, and as I'm walking off, I'm just chatting to Blez. I'm saying, "Hey mate, I see you in commentary a lot. I really like how you commentate." So we're talking, and he goes, "So did you have it?" And I said, "Yeah, I had it," and told him I got there on the river, and he told me that Arta had 3 pair. And that's all he said. And afterwards I actually felt a bit guilty that I told him I had it when he told me what Arta had. So when the table broke, I went up to Blaze and I said, yeah, I had a bluff, and I told him what I had. So that was the highlight. As for the bust out, there's a lot of hands leading up to the effective bust out. There's a lady on my right who been battling like this exact orbit. We've played like 5 pots together. Anyway, this particular hand, she opens from early position. I think the blinds are 1-2. She makes it 4.5K. I pot. I've got 45 bigs. She calls. The flop 7-7-3 rainbow. I've got ace, ace, queen 4. She checks. I go B25. She calls. And I'm thinking she probably would raise a lot of 7x, I think. So just keeping that in mind. The turn brings an 8. A flush draw now, not mine. She checks. And at this point, the SPR is 1, so I can just put it in here. And that's what I'm considering. Do I want to put it in? I think I never get called by worse. She'll snap me off the times that she slow played a 7. And I think that I can gain more EV by checking, because if I put it in here, she's just going to fold most of the time. So I check. The river's an 8, repeat 8. and she doesn't put me in. She could have, but she left me with, say, 10k behind. And I don't think she did it on purpose. She kind of just grabbed a bunch of chips and put them in, and doesn't feel good. Doesn't feel good. I'm seeing some live reads, but to be honest, she's got her hat down. She's got like hair covering her neck. She's got like a jumper tucked up tight. So I'm not getting a lot, but I do get something subtle that I didn't quite put my finger on at the time, and I wish I paid more attention to it. But ultimately, I just thought that if she had a 7, she's probably check raising. She might have an 8. Maybe she floats like, I don't know, like a pocket pair with an 8, or like a gut shot with an 8, like maybe a wrap or something, like a 5, 6, 8. Otherwise, yeah, I just didn't think for long enough. I'm just like, yeah, aces, given all the game flow that's happening, I should call here. Didn't love it. I put the call in, and she had ace, queen, jack, 7. So she got me a good one there. So that's the 10k PLO done. All in all, was an excellent tournament, and I'm pretty disappointed with the result, because played some pretty sick hands. Oh well, that's day 1 of the World Series for me over. It's my second day here. I got some much needed sleep. I was up till 4:30 a.m. local time playing cash, just because I knew I was jack lagged and I couldn't sleep. The plan today was to play the big bet mix, 2.5k. It's got some fun games in there, like double draw 5 card. It had triple draw, pot limit, big O, no limit single draw, all the fun games. But I probably don't have much of an edge, if any. So instead, I'm going to jump in the 1.1k mystery PLO at the Aria, and after that, I'm going to jump in the mystery millionaire maker at the World Series. That's the plan for today. Hopefully play better than I did yesterday. Upon reflection, had a couple of bad misplays. Time to jump in. Just busted the 1k PLO mystery bounty. There was about 90 left, and I had 20 big blinds, so sitting okay. I have king, 10, 8 double suit under the gun 7. Consider a limp, but decided to pot this one. And the small blind, who has gigantic stack, repots me. Now, normally I would just put them on aces, but this lady, she's shown up with some pretty questionable hands, and she's got a huge stack. I thought there was a chance she could have non-ace 3 bets. And my king's a premium, so thought I'd just go with this one. But of course, every time I think people cannot have something, they tend to have it. She had aces, and I busted. So now I'm just deciding what to do next. I could still play the big bet mix. I've missed the late reg for the Hold'em mystery 1k, although there's another flight in an hour or so, but I don't want to play it from the start. Otherwise, there's a 1.6k PLO at the win. Otherwise, there's a 5, 10, 20 cash game here at the Aria, and it plays with the rock, so that's a fun game. So the tough spot now is just deciding what to play. I'm going to get something to eat, have a bit of a think, and then find myself a game to play. All right, just went and had something to eat, walked across to In-N-Out Burger, and that place was insanely busy. I've never seen so much staff in a takeaway place. Insane. Then went and had a bit of a drink, had 1 beer just to chat about what decision to make next, because there's so much to play. Decided that mystery bounty is the best play. As much as I want to play the big bet mix, probably going to have too little of an edge, if any, in the tournament. I'm going to be obviously fine in the Hold'em and PLO. I'll be fine in the Big O and PLO 8, but I'll be below average in the NL single draw, and the pot limit triple draw, I'll be probably very bad, and the 5 card double draw also probably be very bad. A mystery bounty, you never know. You make day 2, you might pull $1 million bounty. So something like that is just a bit too tempting. That's the plan for the rest of the day. Okay, it's now past 5 a.m. and I need to recap the day, because I spent most of the day running from one casino to another, and then the mystery bounty was on the other side of that casino, so I've done like 20,000 steps today, like literally 20,000 steps. The mystery bounty, it was a good decision to play, in the sense that the field was, it's like it was play money. On break, we were trading stories of some of the things we've seen, and there was a guy on another table who was coked up, and he was playing like 10-4 offsuit for big raises. My table guys were getting in like 80 big blinds pre-flop with not much. So I started off okay, ran it up to 2.5 start stacks, and then made a disaster punt. Under the gun limps in, low jack over limps. I've seen the under the gun guy, where's my room? I've seen the under the gun guy limping in like queen 8 suited. The low jack was actually playing pretty decent. So when they limp in, I feel like it's going to be like those, those middle pair type hands, or just weaker hands in general. So in the hijack, I got king 10 offsuit. I think it's good enough to ISO raise. I bump it up. Both players call. The flop is king, queen, 6, all spades. I have no spade. Checks to me. I go 1/3 to try and clean up my equity a little bit and just make my hand easy to play on later streets. Can get called by worse, yada, yada, yada. They both call. The turn is a offsuit 5 and checks to me. And here I just want to get one more bet in and then check back the river. So I'm just deciding how much to bet, and I decide to go kind of large. I go like B67, and the under the gun player, he just snap jams all in on me. And it's funny because as I was deciding how much to bet, I thought I noticed something that made me think he wasn't interested in the hand, or he didn't really have much. So when he snap jammed all in, that's kind of like the opposite of what I was expecting. It kind of caught me by surprise. So anyway, low jack folds, so it's on me. And I'm thinking, did he hit pocket 5s? Pocket 5s with a spade, now he's caught a set. So I'm like, yeah, that hand makes sense. I expect this player to check raise a flush on the flop. So it's like, what else can you have besides pocket 5s? Like, would he check raise a worse king? Would he have like a pocket pair with a spade that doesn't believe me, just wants to push me off? And I thought that's actually possible because some of the stuff we've been seeing, I just thought it just wouldn't surprise me at this point. The hands are that crazy. So terrible spot, like just really hating it. My gut feel says just fold because I really expect to see pocket 5s, but I didn't want to fold, putting him only on 3 value combos. Anyway, I called. He has a flopped flush and I get it in with 0% equity on the turn. And you're not doing it right when you have 0% equity on the turn. So part of my thought process, what I didn't do, I didn't allow for a margin of error. Like just assuming he wouldn't have a flush, I think is the mistake. Should give some weighting to that read being wrong. So that was a pretty bad hand that I didn't like. So yeah. Probably the worst hand to play for this whole series. After that, went and played some cash, played 6 hours of cash. The game is 5, 10, 20, but the 20 is a rock. And what that means is you never actually post a $20 blind. Whoever wins the pot, they have the rock, and the action starts left of the rock. So if you won the hand in the small blind, on the button, you are now the rock, and the action starts in the small blind and then goes around like normal, and then post flop, it goes around normal. So if you win the rock on the button, that's pretty great. I played that for 6 hours, had some really huge hands, and I'll just tell one because I want to go to bed. The hand is pre-flop, I limp king 10 7 5, and you have to do a lot of limping in this game because of where the rock is. I don't remember where the rock is this particular hand, but it's not that relevant. So I limp in, the guy next to me raises, we go 3 ways to the flop, and the flop is queen 7 4. I've got king 10 7 5, and checks to the guy in position. He makes a small bet. I peel my middle pair just because he bets small, and got a backdoor flush draw. Just see what happens on the turn. The turn pairs the queen, brings a flush draw that's not mine. I come out and bet small. He calls, and the river's a 10. So it's queen 7 5, queen 10. So I've got the 10 7 blockers. So naturally, I want to bluff with his hand, but I kind of think he's going to have a queen a lot, just given some of the antics on the turn. He's kind of like trash talking a bit, and I thought he's most likely only going to do that with a value hand. So I check, and he bets the river, and now I put in the big check raise with the 10-7 blockers, and he picks up his cards and he shows the guy next to him and like shakes his head. He's like, ah, they've always got it here. And then he calls me anyway, and he has Queen 7 for a full house. So that one didn't work out. So I've been in Vegas for 2 days now. I'm 0 from 4 bullets in tournaments. Played a little bit of cash. Gonna have to regroup in the morning because it's not the best start, but given how the cash is playing and the rock game, I think I'll be okay. I'm not too worried about that. As for tournaments, well, tournaments are tournaments. However, I'm not gonna do very well if I make the King 10 call-offs, or if I misplay the aces like I busted out in the 10K PLO. So not panic stations yet, but do have to just not be kidding in with 0% pot share. Anyways, I'm gonna get some much needed sleep, and day 3 tomorrow.